Good evening from New York. I'm Chris Hayes. Today, we are both closer to war and closer to peace than we've ever been in the war in Iran. If I asked you right now, what is the status of that war or of the ceasefire or both, what would you say? Frankly, we're having a pretty hard time keeping track, and it is literally our jobs. This afternoon around 4 p.m., the New York Times reported that the U.S. and Tehran are negotiating a one-page plan to reopen the Strait of Hormuz and end the war for 30 days. Again, we're in a temporary ceasefire right now. That's according to 3 Iranian officials. Now, notice I say Iranian officials because at this point, they're kind of the more trustworthy party in talking about whether we're having negotiations, at least at this point. So then, an hour later, U.S. officials said we were striking Iran, actually, apparently in self-defense after Iran fired on U.S. Navy ships in the Strait of Hormuz. Trump said our strikes were just a, quote, love tap. Also, Iran might be laying out new, stricter rules to impose on passage in the Strait. So, to summarize, we are striking Iran. Iran is striking us. The Strait of Hormuz is closed, but apparently we are not at war and the ceasefire holds. It is, as it has been from the beginning, when he announced the war in the middle of the night with his baseball cap on from his golf palace, an incoherent clown show of mismanagement and misinformation by the man who made the whole ridiculous mess to begin with. From day one, he has been making daily announcements, each one contradicting the one before it, each one more wacky than the last. And if anyone ever had the time to put them all together, you would really get a sense of just how disjointed and chaotic and confused the commander-in-chief is. Well, actually, we do have the time to put them all together, and we thought it would be helpful to take a brief journey through the insane ups and downs of the war so far, as told through the Truth Social proclamations of one President Donald J. Trump. You'll remember the tough talk from the early days of the war. March 6th, there will be no deal with Iran except unconditional surrender. And then he added that his goal is to make Iran great again, MAGA. And it was working. The very next day, March 7th, Iran, which is being beat to hell, has apologized and surrendered to its Middle East neighbors. Okay, white flag, war's over. Okay, not so fast, March 9th. If Iran does anything that stops the flow of oil within the Strait of Hormuz, they will be hit by the United States of America 20 times harder than they have been hit thus far. Death, fire, and fury will rain upon them. So, I guess, war's back on. March 10th, 4:07 p.m. If Iran has put out any mines in the Hormuz Strait, and we have no reports of them doing so, we want them removed immediately. Okay? Red line there, no mines. Then literally 13 minutes later, I'm pleased to report that within the last few hours, we have hit and completely destroyed 10 inactive mine-laying boats and/or ships, with more to follow. March 14th, Trump announced NATO would join. Many countries, especially those who are affected by Iran's attempted closure of the Hormuz Strait, will be sending warships in conjunction with the United States of America to keep the strait open and safe. Adding later, this should have always been a team effort, and now it will be. 3 days later, the United States has been informed by most of our NATO allies that they don't want to get involved with our military operation against the terrorist regime of Iran. We will no longer need or desire the NATO countries' assistance. We never did. So, to reiterate, we didn't need their help, and we did again, now March 20th. The Hormuz Strait will have to be guarded and policed as necessary by other nations who use it. In other words, we're out. Not just a sort of coalition of all of us, we're out. 3 days later, a breakthrough negotiation. I am pleased to report the United States of America and the country of Iran have had, over the last 2 days, very good and productive conversations. 3 days after that, things hit a snag. The Iranian negotiators are very different and strange. Okay. April 1st, Iran's new regime president has just asked the United States of America for a ceasefire. 1 day later, it is time for Iran to make a deal before it is too late. There's nothing left of what still could become a great country. April 5th, open the effing strait, you crazy bastards, or you'll be living in hell. April 7th, in the morning, a whole civilization will die tonight, never to be brought back again. April 7th, in the evening, I agree to suspend the bombing and attack of Iran for a period of 2 weeks. This will be a double-sided ceasefire. We received a 10-point proposal from Iran and believe it is a workable basis on which to negotiate. Just after midnight, it was a big day for world peace. Then, the next day, there are reports Iran is charging fees to tankers going through the Hormuz Strait. They better not be. April 10th, the Iranians don't seem to realize they have no cards. April 17th, Iran has just announced the Strait of Iran is fully open and ready for full passage. Thank you. A great and brilliant day for the world. Strait of Iran? April 19th, 2 days later. Iran recently announced that they were closing the strait. Well, yeah. Went on like that until May 3rd, this past Sunday. Trump had a new tactic for opening the strait, which was always open, which we didn't need, which we were going to open, which we decided not to open, which our allies wouldn't help us open, that no one cares about whether it's open. Again, he returned to this idea of a coalition of the willing, if you will. Project Freedom will begin Monday morning. May 4th, Monday morning. Project Freedom is expanding its ranks. Perhaps it's time for South Korea to come and join the mission. Come on in, fellas, the water's fine. Tuesday, Project Freedom will be paused for a short period of time. That was all within 48 hours. Honestly, we could go on and on for 42 minutes for the whole show. There are hundreds of posts, and you can trust exactly none of them. All of them sort of contradicting each other, all of them in that same sort of deranged register. Just today, the Washington Post reported on a confidential CIA report which completely contradicts and undermines the strategic rationale of the administration's claims that Iran is on the verge of collapse. It says Iran can survive our own naval blockade of their blockade for 3 or 4 more months, that Iran still has about 75% of its mobile launchers and 70% of its missiles, and are building more. The fact of the matter is this. Trump has us losing a war to Iran he never should have started in the first place. And no amount of increasingly frantic posting can change that fact.